Hi, it's your girl Ashley. I'm gonna they give like a summary slash review, which is more like a bunch of talking points and just summer like give a bunch of brief sections on you know about the new expansion and what I think of it and what its strong points and its failings are. Though don't worry, the failings and what I saw to be failings initially, I quickly, well, not so quickly, but after taking a break from the game, I came back and I saw them as positives, namely homesteads. Um, but let's talk about the first thing. The new features uh, were were they were based on the assumption that you had friends in what is arguably the loneliest MMO. Homesteads, no one's going to see your home unless you have friends to invite into the homestead. No one's going to join your homestead from the open world because no one cares. Um, so uh, that put me off. The second feature was the War Claw, which was not really a new feature because it was just taking an existing asset and implementing it into the open world outside of World versus World. And yeah, there are some stuff and there are some new mechanics, I guess, like pulling stuff, but it's so brain dead that it might as well not be in there. But I guess that's consistent with most of Guild Wars 2's recent additions and expansions. They're so brain dead. They might as well, just like masteries, might as well not be in the game. They're just something to grind for when you could just have gotten them as features. But whatever. Uh, and the last Yeah, so I touched on the masteries. The new masteries are something to grind for. Um, Honestly, it's just an achievement at this point. You just want to see the big number next to your name. When you see someone with a lot of mastery points, you're just like, oh, that person is quite experienced in Guild Wars 2. Uh, and the last feature was obviously not so much a feature, but essential components are advertised as features nowadays in gaming. The story. So the story, Guild Wars 2's ArenaNet's biggest flaw, and the biggest the best thing about ArenaNet is that they both listen to their player base, and that's also where they fall flat because um, the player base has wanted to move away from uh, world ending threats and be more down to earth and deal in day to day gossip and politics story wise. That didn't work for core vanilla. The first 30 levels people hated because it was just politics, and the last 30 levels, well, people were still learning the game, so they couldn't focus on those. But yeah, people don't know what they want, so you should not listen to the player base when they ask for things like spears on land and um, story to be more grounded in reality. Uh, so the story was basically a villain is basically like just a bigger villain than all the other villains. There's really nothing differentiating this villain from any other open world villain, other than what you see her saying, which is that she's really evil and stuff. But so is every other villain. So this is just like this is not a scary villain at all. Um, which is kind of a nice, like, you can lay back. It's not like a horror game like single player games are, and you can sort of relax and just auto attack it. But it doesn't really give you much. It's both positive and negative that you don't have much motivation to log back in to like there's not much hype for the next story patch because the story is not so great. But at the same time, it lets you focus on the gameplay, and you don't have to die over waiting for the new story patch. Um, one thing I brought up that I forgot to mention about the new features was Spears on Land. Again, why did Arena listen to player base? Um, it's something player base has been asking for, and it's so stupid. It's as stupid as asking for the Tengu race, which would basically just be the char model but with the bird head. Um, Spheres on Land was just think of what just think of the price you paid to get Spheres on Land. What it cost you was you receive no new ways to play other classes. That time and the resource and time could have been spent on making new elite specs and actually offering every available weapon type to helping moving further to offer every available weapon type to every class. Instead, they offered one weapon type to every class, and I'm not seeing that many builds use Spear. So, and people are just gonna auto attack anyway, so who cares? I just don't like it aesthetically. I don't know, like what's a spear doing? Like it's very the tribal aesthetic and the voodoo. Leave that to World of Warcraft. You're not. Nobody likes underwater combat in Guild Wars 2, so why bring an underwater element again to Guild Wars 2? I don't know. That's probably my weakest like analysis. Is just I haven't had much time to think about spheres in Guild Wars 2, but it just wasn't. I don't want to wait for a build to pop up that guaranteed that that made it like reassured me that yeah, sphere this build makes good use of spear, like, and I'm not gonna make my own build because it's pointless. Why be gimped on purpose? I'm here for the cosmetics, but and everyone's just got auto attack anyway, uh so yeah, but I didn't like those things, so I took a break, and um then the initial honeymoon phase ended for people, and the sense of urgency and the need to speed through everything sort of evaporated, and that calmed things down and motivated me to jump back into Wars 2. And finally, again, they're introducing new cosmetics to the store, and I play for Fashion Wars 2, so it's nice to see the new cosmetics. I love them. I love the plush housing. I love that they're adding housing items to the cosmetics store. I need to actually buy it, but it looks awesome. Um, though I think it's out of the store now, but yeah, I wasn't playing for a bit. Their new cosmetics are pretty fucking awesome. The new outfits are awesome. I don't know why they're making the female clothing identical on the male, but it's actually quite. No one's talking about it, but it's actually quite. It's unbelievable that they're doing something so bold as that at this stage. Like Guild Wars 2 was so lacking in LGBTQ related support overtly. Like yeah, some lore, if you really search for it, yeah, and yeah, there are lesbians, but that was cool even like 20 years ago. But yeah, it's actually amazing that they're doing this. People are going to be much more open-minded towards non-binary and like just individuals who don't conform to gender norms. I also like the homesteads now because yeah, I don't have any friends in the game because I have mental illness and I block everyone. I get paranoid. Um, that's partly why I'm creating content, is because I need friends for stream for like to when I move on to streaming, but I will always be making YouTube videos. Um, the homesteads were really just a great exercise in creativity, and yeah, like if you don't have friends, no one's gonna see it. But actually, you can ArenaNet's reblog has been reposting and retweeting um, people's homestead photos, so there's actually a chance that your creation will be seen. Your art will receive exposure. Um, and the sphere is actually, I like the animations. Um, they were lazy last expansion, like with the reused animations, but I really like the sphere animations this expansion. Um, and I like that they're adding new sphere skins, so like it doesn't look so goofy. Um, it doesn't look so out of place and World of Warcrafty. Um, I like I don't really like the story still, but that's actually a good thing because I'm not dying in anticipation for the next expansion to like come just for the story. I like how the work law was implemented in an open world meta event, um, with the polling of the boss in one of the metas, and I just like that even though there wasn't so much content introduced, the quality of the content was actually good. The maps are beautiful. Um, Homestead you can work on endlessly, and there's just so much replayability in that aspect of the game. Uh, so I like that I can go fishing just by going into my homestead by opening a portal. Like I don't have to go and teleport to Lion's Arch, wait for that, go travel to the fishing spots, move to the next fishing spot. It's all in my homestead, um, and it refreshes frequently enough that I can use that as a reliable source to farm fish. um, so I also um, I like that since there wasn't so much content, but the content there was good, you can take a break from it and focus on the jam-packed, content-packed Halloween event, which introduced more cosmetics, and you can really like, or you can just not do Halloween if you're not so keen on those cosmetics and just focus on completing the expansion stuff and working towards more legendaries and Wizard's Vault and collections and achievements. There's just so much to do, and yeah, the expansion didn't introduce that much, but actually you can there's so many. I consider shop items as content because you can farm in-game gold to buy them, but I won't be doing that. I'll be buying them directly, and um, yeah, I think it's the best expansion now because it's just the best expansion now because you can't imagine going back to, let's say, 2015 where there were maybe no mounts, and now you can't imagine no spears, and you can't imagine no homesteads, and now you can't imagine no warclaw and no legendary armory, and it's just so great. It's just so great. So yeah, I know I started off pretty negatively, but I love this game, and my the only reason I don't focus more on making videos for it is because it's just so much work with my budget to make actual video editing with in-game footage, but also because I was pretty fucking ugly until like I started taking injections for estrogen, and lastly because it's just an old game, so starting now on content creation is sort of like taking a huge risk because the game might die. But I'm hoping that with people like me really supporting ArenaNet. That they'll know that yes, we're definitely gonna keep this franchise alive, and once Guild Wars 2 reaches the end of its lifespan, maybe in 5 or 10 years, there will be a Guild Wars 3. And even if there isn't, even if Riot's new MMORPG supersedes everything, all the MMOs, and supplants them, then you can all migrate over there, but at least it's still an MMO, so I can hopefully migrate people there. But honestly, I hope Guild Wars 2 doesn't die because I just love it. Everything ArenaNet does is right. Like most developers, they don't, and designers, they make mistakes and they experiment and they fuck up. But everything ArenaNet's been doing has been good. All their expansions, save for Secrets of the Obscure, have been received with loads of praise. And yeah, I've been playing this game since beta, so there's obviously something to it that has kept me coming back, and hopefully you feel the same. So if you liked my analysis, again, I haven't been uploading. I don't know if I said this already, but I haven't been uploading videos in a while because of some reasons, and also I got into a relationship, and then I stopped playing Guild Wars 2 for like a month after that because it broke up and I was just depressed. But if you want, yeah, if you're not gonna get like the flashiest editing at first, but I'm trying to build a following, so if you like what you see, if you want intelligent, well-informed commentary and analysis, critical analysis, and data regarding Guild Wars 2, then drop me a follow and a like, and you can follow me on socials. I'm totally back on them, and see you again. And maybe next time I will have more editing, and well, we'll see how this video does. So bye bye.